and dad. Good evening, everybody. I'm Michael's older brother, Tommy. Obviously, most people here do that. Anyone who didn't make it from genocide, just listen to either of us in conversation. You're going to find out real quick. You're going to say, yep, those are very similar stutters. Those two are definitely related. By the way, I grew up with that, like, Jenna Jennings. Jenna Jennings. That's not really doing us much favors. I'm honestly not even sure if I'm supposed to be up here right now. Michael never actually asked me to be the best man at this wedding. But the date for Michael and Jenna's first wedding was approaching, so I was like, I gotta bite the bullet. Like, Mike, am I to be the best man at this wedding? It was like, okay, sure. Here we are. I just want to start off, obviously, by saying how beautiful Jenna looks tonight. In her second wedding dress. Mikey was pretty cute too. Looks like with everything going on, you forgot to get a haircut. But whatever. I'm not going to go in on Mike. I feel like I've been doing that for most of his life. Hello, back in 2015, Michael gave the best man speech at my wedding. Because I asked him to be the best man. And I think he got his revenge. He passed me pretty well. He actually got a good amount of credit for it too. So much so that my family still will periodically open up a couple bottles of wine and watch it like it's a fashion. Which is a bit unfair because if it wasn't for me and my stupidity and irresponsibility, Mike would have never had the material for that speech. I would never tried to bring a BB gun onto an airplane after 9/11. What was he said, Mike? Tom was about as sharp as a bowling ball. Real nice. Michael was different. Michael spent most of his life flying under the radar, which is unfortunate for me in this speech because it left me with slim to zero material. Honestly, it was getting late in the game and I was going to AI generate the speech, but I didn't have to be cool to put it to ChatGPT for it to work its magic. He even managed to escape those late-night breathalyzer scans from Big Tom and Diane. I don't know, maybe since Michael was such an obvious mistake, my parents were just too old and tired to bear anymore. On a rare occasion, Michael actually didn't get going through something I'm pretty sure I was playing for anyway. Because Michael is always going to be the baby. I'm pretty sure his cell phone bill is still on a family plan in my sister's. I wouldn't be surprised if my mother already made a leftover prime rib sandwich that she stole from cocktail hour. The way Steph's like, we have a crazy lady walking around with an outside Ziploc bag in cocktail hour. I'm going to keep an eye on her. Thank God Michael finally found someone besides my two sisters and mommy and baby. The first time I ever met Jen was actually at my friend's house. So right away, introducing anyone new to Riverdale people is risky. I'm actually going to take a quick second for Riverdale. There's a lot of Riverdale here. It's a very special place. It's truly a generational neighborhood. Walking into a bar and seeing a 16-year-old kid talking to their best friend's father or even grandfather is the norm. Just look at all Mikey's friends here tonight. Most of these kids are kids he's been friends with even before grammar school. And what's even more impressive than that is that a lot of their parents are also here. Generational. Having said that, Riverdale is also a place where you better have really thick skin or just cover your ears. To see Jenna so amazed by the things coming out of these idiots' mouths made me kind of think, I'm like, wait, is this girl just as crazy and arrogant as the rest of us? Obviously that wasn't the case. She was just very polite and knew how to go with the flow. And the reason I knew that is because the second time I ever met Jenna was at my parents' house in the Jersey Shore. If you're not going with the flow in that house, your head might pop off. See, you could live in a 10,000 square foot house and it would still be close quarters to the Jennings family. No matter where you are, 90% of the time, you turn around and my mom is going to be there. Whether she's sweeping your feet or asking you if the clothes that you're still wearing need to be washed, she'll be there. Forget about out if she hears the beer open. She literally pops her head up like a meerkat, head on a swivel, trying to figure out whose it was. Poor Mike has actually had to resort to coffee or sneezing every time he opens up a beer. And in doing that, he's diagnosed himself with a new illness, but we're going to get to that. It's cool though, because the other 10% of the time is you saying, where's that noise coming from? You realize that you've been listening to Big Tom practice American Idol audition in the shower for the last 2 weeks. It's one of those things where seriously, if you don't laugh, you will cry. For Jen not to have been worried about her future is concerned. Honestly, Tanya, this goes for you too. All of you too. How can you sit there through a melee about whether it's worth it to drive to Costco because the gas is 6 cents cheaper there and still want to marry into this family? But it all worked out. Mikey finally popped the question on a trip to Croatia. Michael actually missed our first trip to Croatia. He was studying for some tests. It was a CFP, CFR, I don't know, whatever it was called. He studied for months and months for this test. He failed. Probably should have went to Croatia. No, it all worked out. Mikey finally got to go to Croatia and proposed the way he wanted to. Good thing she said yes. That would have been a long flight back for her. Honestly, by that point, she had to say yes. Jenna was already fully invested in Mikey's antics by then. See, Michael has a slight anxiety problem. And will literally diagnose himself with anything that he can Google. Imagine walking in from a long day and seeing him and him saying, Jenna, my leg hurts. I'm pretty sure I have fiber dysplasia. I have an appointment with the specialist tomorrow. Alright, this is so slower. Poor Mikey's over there, like, hurry up, I gotta get up. I just read that sitting too long causes hemorrhoids. Making fun of Mikey a lot because everyone knows that he's better and more important than the rest of us. Michael first started off as a basketball star and then moved on to being a track star. I remember going to one of Michael's meets and truly feeling proud of his accomplishments. See, I like to think that Michael kind of followed my footsteps and emulated me. But we all know that's not the case. I mean, I ran as fast as I could from time to time, but for very different reasons. In fact, I'm pretty sure my parents were like, see him, do the opposite. That's what Michael did, and that's why he's the way he is today. Boring with no cool stories. He's a sensitive soul with a heart of gold to do anything for his family and friends. We're so proud of the man that you become. You're smart, successful, and about to embark on a great journey with your new life. And to Jen, honestly, I feel like you've been a part of the family all along. You fit in so well, my kids absolutely adore you. Just another blonde sister who appreciates the solid 10. But more than that, you made my brother so happy. We're so lucky you're here, and honestly, so is he. Michael's ready for this. Michael's overly ready for this. He's been preparing for sickness and health his entire life.